For many people, this lovely red distorted image has been their first exposure to augmented reality. The android's vision combines real-time visuals with an overlay of relevant information. When Terminator was made in 1984, augmented reality hadn't even been coined as a term, but through popular cultural representations and stylized imagery, a life structured by augmented reality has become a real possibility in the imaginations of entrepreneurs and developers. However, the dystopian view exists that once this technology becomes commonplace, it will be dominated by advertisements, creating an intrusive visual atmosphere that projects countless sales pitches directly into the eyes of users. And artists have been toying with this idea for a long time. It has appeared in novels, films, and now internet videos. This was created by video artists attempting to propose a possibility of how the built environment will merge with media space. Google offered consumers a view of their augmented reality project in development, and it blew up, getting 15 million views on YouTube in a month. It was immediately criticized for its unrealistic depiction of the interface because many AR specialists are wary of overhyping the technology. Their fear is well grounded. Media made virtual reality out to be unimaginably great, and when it didn't live up to the hype, it died a sad death. Viewers also created multiple spoofs that redefine the technology as just another means to make money using advertisements. What can augmented reality really contribute to our daily lives? And how will it affect the way we interact with our environment?
The idea that we can blend, these realities between what we're doing kind of on the virtual side and the real side opens a lot of interesting possibilities. We'd kind of thought that in the future there'd be these super intelligent robots, that might be nice, they might be mean, but it was all about artificial intelligence. But what we're finding really is the most powerful technologies are a blending of the two. It's how do we take, the best aspects of human intelligence and mesh it with the power that we get from our technology. And the blending of those two things is what really, in other words, that's what makes Google work, is the fact it's really mining and distilling human intelligence and then redistributing it. There's no super AI over at Google figuring out how to rank the search results. But once we have that, once we're able to kind of mesh these things with our own reality, obviously we'll be able to track things in different ways. We'll see the world differently. We're even seeing things taken from games. This is actually a racing game, and this is actually a real race on television, where the language of interactivity, the language of these virtual worlds, is starting to be used to parse reality and help us understand. We have a fundamental issue here, which is that we have this limited bubble of experience. We can only have so many experiences in our lifetime that we have to build these models from, and we're abstracting from that data. We found, through evolution actually, two ways to get more data to build more elaborate models of the world. One of them is to have toy experiences, little counterfeit experiences. The other one is to learn from the experience of others. When somebody tells you a story, you can actually learn from that story, incorporate it into your model of the world to make your model more accurate based upon that data that you got from somebody else. So over time, we've come to call one of these things play and the other one storytelling. These are both fundamentally educational technologies, that allow us to build more elaborate models of the world around us by supplanting our limited experience with other experiences. Now, as we start moving from the virtual to the real, especially in terms of entertainment, it opens really cool possibilities. If there was a system that we could imagine that understood me enough and the world around me enough, it could open these possibilities to me. Really the point of it being, can we make games that get me more engaged in reality rather than just distract me from it?
HP released this concept video 4 years ago. It hasn't come to fruition, but it shows what Will Wright, a pioneer of simulation gaming, believes to be the future. The game draws on the real world to engage users in a more involving experience. as the world takes on new meaning through the use of augmented reality. Again, this is only a concept. Sorry, it's really easy to get lost in what will someday be possible. So where is augmented reality today, and how is it being used?
Do things like make this blinds, so I can close the blinds. I can actually see through to the little town outside. If I want to hit widget, I can check out Twitter. I can check the forecast for Vegas. This is so freaking cool. This is future technology right here. It's a one-sided pane, which means people can't walk by your kitchen window and see what you're looking at, so you don't have to worry about that. I know that it's going into the coming months, mass production in the coming months, so we're going to start seeing stuff like this ASAP, and I'm pretty excited about it because, well, quite frankly, I feel like I'm in Minority Report, and that's really awesome.
To Christchurch now, and with hundreds of buildings set for demolition, the face of that city is set to change forever. But what will the city look like, and will the old Christchurch be forgotten? Well, one leading technology expert says he's found the solution using cutting-edge technology.
Of Christchurch, the technology becomes truly impressive.
Well, what are we doing here?
Sure, great. So this is the Earthquake AR software, and this runs on a normal Android mobile phone. When I hold the phone up like this, I can see a live camera view coming from the camera on the phone, but then using the GPS and the compass on the phone, we can overlay virtual models into the real world.
Gaping holes where proud buildings once stood, transformed.
In front of me, of course, is where the St Elmo's Courts building was, but now there's just an empty site. When I look through here, as you can see, I can see a 3D model of the building. When we drag on the timeline here, you can go back and forward in time. So we can drag back to the left and we can see what it would look like 50 years ago. We can drag it forward a little bit. We can see what it was like the day before the quake, and then we can go forward in time and we could see what it could be like in the future.
The plan to make models from architects' impressions for every demolished building, then give the software away for free.
You can use it for community feedback as well, so I can see the building on site and I can add my own comments and thoughts. I might say, well, you know, this new design is too big compared to the police station, or I don't like the colour.
The future. The internet is going to be in our contact lens. And when the internet is in our contact lens, you blink and you will go online. And if you meet somebody at a meeting, a conference, or a classroom, and you don't know who they are, your glasses will identify who they are and print out their biography in your contact lens, so you will always know who you are talking to. At a cocktail party, you will always know who to suck up to if you're looking for a job. And if the person is speaking Chinese, no problem. Your contact lens will translate what the person is saying even as they speak. Now, you've seen this before in the movie The Terminator. Remember the Terminator movie? He lived in what is called augmented reality.
I think the interactive aspect of the augmented reality, which is the piece that I worked on, when people see it's more intuitive than maybe they expected it to be.
There are a lot of things that human brains do that are really hard for computers to do. What augmented reality is really about is natural interaction through vision.
We like to think that it's very easy for people to just point the phone and see the translation magically appear.
Well, if you're in a foreign country and you are surrounded by text in a language that you don't understand, and this is especially true if that text is written in a language that you can't even reliably reproduce.
It could be time-consuming when you're on the road and have to pull up a Chinese keyboard and just point at the image and pan around so that you can keep translating things as and when they come into the view.
The voice mode is really intended to be sort of a conversational interface. So we wanted speech-to-speech translation. People just speak into the phone and the translated speech comes out. Can you help me find the bus station?
你能帮我找到汽车站?
So augmented reality, there's a number of different ways we can talk about this, but one of the cool things is the ability to obviously blend the virtual and the real. And all these things have to come together. It has to be geospatial, it has to be locative, it has to be contextual, and it has to be relevant. You know, I'm Robert, I'm here, I'm on stage, I'm the speaker, I'm giving this presentation, you're sitting there, you're sitting there, you're sitting there, you have this background, you have this background. All of this stuff needs to be kind of mashed together to make augmented reality and the next version of mobile relevant and useful. We can't just stop and say, oh, you know, cool, here's a little 3D thing and I'm going to blow in the microphone and it's going to change. It has to be much more than that. Once we start answering these questions, then, you know, whole worlds of opportunity open. But once those wearable displays come out that are really cool, you know, and catchy and high resolution, everything is going to change because that's what makes it personal and immersive and immediate.